Hi guys, /112 of dreamviews.com here. Before I go any further, for those of you who don't know what a lucid dream is, have you ever had a dream where you wind up realising that it's a dream? Now that's basically a lucid dream. The definition of a lucid dream is a dream in which the dreamer becomes aware that they're dreaming. That awareness basically gives you consciousness, which is the part of your mind that's active while awake, and that's the reason you're able to control your actions. So in a lucid dream, you're able to control your actions, which you might not have known if you'd already had a lucid dream. Now, the fact that you can control your actions means you can basically go out and do anything. It's pretty cool. Now, there is loads of ways to do it, to induce a lucid dream. Some people have them randomly. That's not a technique. But there are techniques to induce a lucid dream. There's two main types. There's wake-induced lucid dream, which is where the dreamer goes straight into a dream from the waking state into a lucid dream, so no lapse in consciousness at all. A dream-induced lucid dream, which is what I'm going to go into in this video, is where the dreamer becomes aware while in the dream. Now there's so many different ways to be able to do that, to be able to induce that to happen. There's loads of sub-techniques. The most commonly known one is mnemonically induced lucid dream, and that's where you sort of build a memory inside you that comes out in the dream. It's kind of hard to explain in simple terms, but basically you want to be doing things like reality checks so often that it becomes a habit and you end up doing it in the dream. Now a reality check, that is where you test if it's reality or a dream. Now if I wanted to check right now whether it's a dream or reality, which I don't really know, I can't know for sure, I would do something like pinch my nose and try to breathe through it. I'm not able to breathe through my nose when it's pinched closed, so I'm going to assume that it's reality. But sometimes that won't work in a dream, so you might want to have a few different reality checks. Another one is to try and remember what you've done previously in that day. Try and backtrack your steps as far as possible. In a dream, you'll kind of find that you don't really know how you got where you were. You might have seen that in the film Inception. So if I think about it, I've just driven into Paisley to go to uni. I decided to put on the camera to try and do this little technique tutorial for you guys. And before that, I basically woke up and got out of my bed. I can fully remember, I can actually remember all these things, so I know that it's reality. The idea behind all that is that you're actively thinking about reality and dreams. You're kind of, your mind is actively thinking about these things, and that is where a reality check becomes important. Not the action that you do, which is a common misconception. A lot of people will just go da, 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 and there we go, they just assume that it's reality because they're not really thinking about it, and that leads to reality checks in dreams that you wind up thinking that it's still reality. So you really want to be thinking about it properly when you're doing a reality check. Now, there are other ways as well. There's something called autosuggestion, and that basically means you repeat something to yourself over and over until it's stuck in your head. That's another mnemonic device. You see, I could be repeating to myself when I'm falling asleep. When I'm in a dream, I will realise it's a dream. When I'm in a dream, I will realise it's a dream. you just keep on repeating it to yourself until you fall asleep. That means it's the last thing you thought about while you're awake. So it's your last waking memory in the dream, if you get what I mean. And the hope is that in the dream your subconscious will remember it, and you might end up doing a reality check or simply realising that it's a dream because you've thought about it. So that's the kind of idea of dream-induced lucid dream. You want to be actively thinking about things through waking life so that reflects in your dream. That's the whole idea of it. In the dream, you want to start thinking about things a lot, and as soon as you start thinking about things in dream, you will end up realising that it's a dream. This, however, takes a lot of practice and motivation and effort. You see, it tends to be people who are totally new to lucid dreaming. They'll get so motivated because they want to go out and do really cool stuff like fly like Superman. So they're so motivated that they'll end up doing it because it's on their mind so much. And that's why it's so important to actively think about things. Now, there's not much else I can say about it. There's huge tutorials on how to do this, but to be honest, that's as simple as it is. You need to actively think about reality all the time. Keep it in your head, and that's the easiest way to induce a lucid dream, by having an active mind all the time, because that behaviour will reflect in the dream, just like the reality checks habit will reflect in the dream. Now that's all I can pretty much say about it. I mean, there's other things like the REM dreamer you might have heard of, or the Nova dreamer. These are dream masks, what they're called, and basically you go to sleep with these things on, and a red light will flash in your eye when you go into REM sleep. REM sleep is the part of the sleep cycle where you dream. It's called a REM period. It's light sleep. It means your senses are open and you're in a dream. So your eyes will tend to flicker, and this mask can detect that, and it'll flash a red light in your eye. So in the dream you'll kind of see that red light, and it will make you start to think about things. So it really does help, but it's an expensive piece of equipment. So like, I don't know, I wouldn't really bother with it. I would love to have one, but it's so expensive that I wouldn't even bother. So that's all I'll say about dream-induced lucid dream. I'll come back to wake-induced lucid dream in another video. So I'll leave you with that. See you on Dream Views. Goodbye.